And hello again, Buff Nation. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. Buffs prime time as the Buffs are coming off a heck of a college football game. Well, they came out in the short end against BYU last week. Now ready to head on down to TCU to take on the Horned Frogs on Saturday afternoon, 5:30 Mountain Time with the kickoff. We'll hit the air at 3:30 here on the network with the Buffalo Stampede pregame show coming up in the show. We've got Katon Wade's going to join us, outstanding edge player for the Buffaloes. George Hilo for the defensive line staff. I should mention that our show is brought to us by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Visit aflac.com to learn more. And, of course, we've got the head coach with Deion, Coach Prime Sanders. How's your week going so far?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Let me digress. I always think of a million things when I get up here to talk to you, talk to the media, and I try to capture it.
Sure, I understand.
One quote. You know, when you lose, you're not happy by any means.
Right.
But the way you lose improves your attitude. It's like, can you take some positives from the negative and apply it to your team to hopefully, prayerfully deposit that this week?
Right.
Yes. When we walked out of Houston, it was nothing.
Right.
You're upset. You're livid. Last week was, you know what? We should have won that game.
Yeah.
That's how you think as a head coach. But we got to do A, B, C, D. We got to fix that. We got to fix that. We got to fix that. We got to do this. So you think of those things that you could fix.
Well, there is, not every loss is the same.
Right.
To your point.
True.
And you can only kick somebody in the tail so many times.
Right.
So there is a balance you have to kind of have, isn't there, when you approach the team after win or lost?
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't go too heavy. You can't go too light.
Yeah.
It has to be a astute balance there. And then you got to know your team. You got to know as well as your coaches. Oftentimes, many coaches forget to coach coaches.
Yeah. The 2+ years I've been around you, it's very obvious. You hate losing, right?
Yes, with a passion.
Hate losing. The teams you've played have a combined record now 15-2. You've played a very tough schedule.
Yeah, but you don't want to hear that.
No, I understand. And that doesn't excuse the losses.
Right. It's like put a pillow up under my back and, you still put me to sleep.
But do you look at this and say, okay, let's not – it's easy, and I've seen this in the course of my career. It's easy after a loss or two to start drinking that Kool-Aid and going in a bad direction. You got to keep it in perspective,
Yeah, I don't.
correct?
I never go in that direction. I wreck myself trying to fix it. Wreck myself trying to, okay, in that moment, could we have done this? Could we have done that? Okay, why aren't we winning moments, different type of moments? So, okay, let's change the practice schedule. So now the practice schedule is broken down into quarters.
Okay.
First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Because now you go back and say, okay, let me look at statistics. What did they say? Well, in the last 2 weeks, this is how much you scored in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. So now there's a problem with the first and third quarter.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be, because that's when you're coming out of the locker room with much instruction.
You should come out on fire at that point.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now let's try to fix those quarters.
Okay. You said something in your press conference, and I've been pondering it the last couple of days. You talked about it was a post-game press conference, not the one on Tuesday. You talked about the moment being big, and then guys having to raise to that.
Yeah.
We're doing our television stand-up afterward. I said, that's coming from a guy that never saw a circumstance he didn't want to rise to.
Right.
That was kind of natural to you.
Right.
How do you help guys see that?
You put them in the moment.
Is that right?
You got to put them in the moment so they could have success, or who they are in that moment, and you get them from out there. So you try to recreate moments to make sure, okay, what is he going to do in that moment? You knew that. We saw this last week. We saw this on Thursday. Why is he in that moment? So those are the type of things you got to make sure as a coach.
Okay.
You try to create situational football at practice. You try to create things like 3rd and 1s or 3rd and the inch. You go over that. So when it comes game time, you already know it.
Yeah.
You don't have to call it from the sideline. They already know what we're going to do. Same thing defensively as well, to stop the 3rd and 1s or whatever, to stop the 3rd and 7s. And then you put a situational football up all week. This is where we are, guys, 1st and 10. This is where we are 3rd and 5s. We got to improve in this area. We got to improve in that area, offensively and defensively. You show them that, but then you got to show them how we're going to improve in those areas.
Okay. Then I thought on Tuesday you sharpened the point on that a little bit when you were talking about defensive backs. Anybody who saw or heard what Prime was talking about, You said, and this applies to everybody, but you were specifically talking about defensive backs. You said 95% of them are playing not to get beat. The other 5% are playing to make a play.
That's right.
Flesh that out for people so they understand.
You got to understand, I'm talking about everybody. I'm not just talking about our guys.
Yeah.
When I was in the NFL, I had to notice that guy on the other side of me, he's not thinking like I'm thinking. He's over there getting a lot of balls thrown at him. He's getting a lot of stuff. I'm playing to make a play, to make a house call. I'm playing to dominate. I'm playing to make this guy look like a fool over here. This guy's playing just to hold on.
Sure.
He's playing just to break even. He's playing to just not give up a play. He's not playing to make a play. His aggressiveness ain't like that. His mindset ain't like that. His thought process ain't like that. It's many players in different positions fathom it the same way. Warren Sapp was playing to make a sack.
Yes.
To kill that guy in front of him. Marshall Faulk was playing to make a darn play. Like you got Pecco was playing to kill the guy in front of him. You got certain guys in certain situations. So I was talking about defensive backs.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm looking for those guys. And that's the truth. When you change the paradigm of how you're recruiting and start thinking, I got to just stop looking at 4 and 5 stars, 3 stars, whatever. We got to get those guys playing to make plays.
Yeah.
The thought process, but that don't always show up on film. It does, but it shows up in that conversation as well.
The difference, as I thought about it, one's a defensive mindset, one's an offensive mindset.
Yeah, one's a dog, one's a go-getter.
Yeah.
One's a guy that I want this, all of this. I just don't want my part.
Right.
I want all of this. One guy wants to practice and get practice over with. Other guys wants to whoop you throughout all of practice.
Right. I think about guys we've had here recently. Obviously, Travis Shador come to mind. Jimmy comes to mind. Guys, you throw it up. You got Randy Moss walking around here. Did anybody ever doubt throwing the ball up that Randy was going to get it? Right.
Exactly.
That's what you're talking about. Can you teach that?
No.
Yeah.
That's in them. That's in them from the womb. That's in them from youth. That's in them from high school all the way up. That's already in them. You can't teach that. What you can teach is how to help guys prevent a play from happening with study habits, preparation, understand situational football as well.
I'm sitting here thinking about that. Is it tough to evaluate that? And I ask that from this standpoint. When you're looking at a high school kid, for example, if a lot of times those guys are more athletic, the guys you bring to this level, right? So they're making plays because they're great athletes. How do you figure out if that's just athleticism or if it's what we're talking about here?
Well, I'm going to give you a situation.
Yeah.
I was watching some defensive backs last week, high school kids, and they were showing me a bunch of corners. And I said, that guy's a safety, that guy's a safety, that guy's a safety. It's not a corner. Well, why do you say that? I say, first of all, he's extremely physical.
Okay.
You don't see extremely physical corners mostly in high school. That guys mostly have the safety's mentality, but he may play corner. They talked to the coach a few days later, and the coach said, we moved that guy to safety.
Okay.
Like you see it on film. I could see it. I could tell his movements, the way, even if they're bumping and running, I could tell the way he's getting in and out of his breaks, what that guy possessed and what we want. So, I've always said a bad corner is a great safety because of the ball skills.
Right.
Yeah, most of the time you don't find too many safeties with tremendous ball skills if they just play safety. Yeah. Because that's not a position you just raise up in life and say, you know what, I want to play safety.
No, that's right. As a corner, you and I have talked about the mentality you've got to have, and that's kind of what we're talking about here. Yeah. What's the physical? Obviously, you got to be fast. Yeah. You hear about the flipping of the hips and those kind of things. What do you want to see when you look at tape for a cornerback?
Instinct.
Is there a swagger you want to see?
It don't have to be a swagger. It's just instinct. But you know what? I don't want to just see the game. I want to see him practice. Give me some practice tape on it. If I'm really serious and we get into the next level, let me see how he works. Okay. Because if he practices like he wants to be great, I want him. If he doesn't, I don't. So I look at his camp tape. Let's see if he's been to this camp or that camp that they filmed everything. I want to see how he goes through his drills as well to see if he's low. Can he get in and out of his breaks? Is he stiff in his hips? Does he have hands? One thing I don't like a corner with no, ball skills. I don't like that. Right. And then I love them to play dual sports. Maybe baseball, maybe basketball. Just play something else. I don't want you. You can.
Yeah.
I don't fault you for that, but it helps
The,
if you're a dual sport guy.
the great Bill Walton always used to talk about that.
Yeah.
He said, I want the kid that was 0-2, bottom of the ninth inning, standing at the plate, and I want
Yeah.
the guy that 2 seconds left at the free throw line shooting
Yeah.
front shot. He said,
Yeah.
that tells me where a guy's a competitor.
It's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Yeah. You've talked about missed opportunities last week.
Yeah.
I know you're reluctant to kind of pinpoint anybody, but from an offensive standpoint, when you're leaving plays out there like that, what's the correction for that?
First of all, you gotta address it.
Mm.
You gotta show it, and you gotta address it, and you gotta ask them. So what were you thinking right here? And you gotta know, because if they don't address it and take what word am I looking for? Responsibility for
Sure.
it, they're not gonna. That doesn't help any of us.
Yeah.
We gotta take responsibility of it. Tell me what you were thinking, so we don't get in that situation again. Because if you're saying something crazy, I'm not going to even put you in that situation. I'm not going to allow it. We're going to put somebody else in that situation and let them do what they're gifted to do. But it's so many things that happens in a game that the regular person watching the game may not know.
They're subtle. They don't see them. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
One guy misses a gap. One guy turns the wrong way. Whatever
Yeah,
it is. I mean,
yeah.
it's-
And you're blaming this guy when,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't him. That was him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what I always say? I blame us ultimately.
Yes.
Because I always say if a guy does something, the coaches can tell you, if a guy does something foolish on the field, I said it took a fool to put him in.
There was a coach I worked with years ago. He was talking about what you're referencing there. He always said, Mark, those are the family secrets we keep inside.
Yeah.
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 We talk about
There's
them
a lot of those going on right now.
Yeah, there is. There's a number of them. Yeah, on the other side of the break, we continue with Coach Prime. I want to talk about the offensive line, which has been playing very well the last few weeks here for the Buffaloes. As we continue on the Buffalo Stampede, back in a moment, this is Colorado Football from Learfield. This week, just ahead of the TCU game on Saturday afternoon, 5:30 down in Fort Worth, Texas. Going to be in the mid-90s. He's going to enjoy it. I'm not going to enjoy the heat down there.
Yeah.
You love that.
I might wear short sleeves. I never wear short sleeve shirts. Never, ever. I might wear one this week.
Okay, all right. Yeah, hot and humid down there in Fort Worth. We're going to hit there at 3:30, by the way. George Hilo still to come. Also, Katon Wade's going to join us in a couple of minutes. Coach, your offensive line. I know I've heard you talk about Pro Football Focus, and again, it's one of the measuring sticks we have here.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I. Well, it's
where are they from?
Chris Collinsworth, I think, is the guy.
What validates them?
Well, the fact that
who are these guys?
They put out information. That's it.
Just keep going.
That's it. You could keep going. But they're saying some real good things about your team right now. Let's see. Blocking grades through week 5. This is the western half of the country. Colorado number 2 in the western half of the country. Oregon number 1. Buffalo's right behind them. Time. This is the average time allowed pressure this season for an FBS O-line. Number 1 in the country, the Colorado Buffaloes.
See, this kind of stuff is just pushing a narrative, and you know what it is. You know where it comes to.
Well, that's a positive.
You just leading up. You just leading up. I love that setup. That was a great setup. That was an impeccable setup by
you. Like what I did there?
I like what you did there.
Well, I was giving you a chance. I'm tossing it up, and I'm letting Deion, with his Braves uniform on, just take 1 yard on it.
That was good. Make sure it's middle end. That's why I liked it.
Is that what you liked it?
Yeah.
All right. Your line's playing really well right
they
now.
are.
Don't you think?
I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
I'm proud of them. Not only that, three-headed monster that's coaching them. Dre, Big George, and Gunner doing a wonderful job. The backfield, the running backs, we got 2 guys, important guys that's down right now.
Yes.
But it still is going. And I love what and they're just as physical. We had a situation yesterday where, competition football on the field, and I tell you what, you guys want to put something on it? Not money, NCAA.
Yes, yep.
You want to just put a gassers on it? And the offense like, yeah. And the defense,
weren't so sure.
I don't know about that, dog. But I love the thought process. Those guys are physical. They want it. They go get it, and they want to run the heck out of the ball. They know we could throw it as well. And I'm proud of them. I really am.
Yeah.
It's grown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has gotten better as the years going on. Very physical up front. Last week, you kind of tipped your hand a little bit. You said we're going to do something back there. That was putting Draylen Miller back there.
Yeah.
Talk about him as a running back.
Well, Marshall told me, we know he's very versatile, and I think he gives you a lot in the running back room, maybe even more than the receiver room. And Marshall said, I could help that guy become a pro.
Really?
Yeah, that's how strongly he believes in it, because he's versatile. He could run between tackles outside, but also he's really good out of the backfield and catching. Mm-hmm. So you got to give him some type of routes that display his versatility, and who better to know those type of routes than Marshall Faulk?
Yeah, without question. Talk about the importance. I think of guys like Draylen, Omarion's a physical specimen out there. We've talked about Sincere Brown, and there are others on this team. The importance of getting the ball in your playmakers' hands.
You got to. Also, you got to understand now the flow of the game dictates a lot of it as well. So. We Joseph Williams, we got, and he may be one of the better ones on the team.
Right.
You got some great receivers to me. But when you could run the darn ball down people's throat, you got to find some kind of way, try to find that balance. Okay. Whether it's 60-40, whether it's 70-30, or 55-45, you got to find that. I'm glad my math did. I was just thinking about that.
That's pretty good.
Lord, thank you. My math did math.
Nailed it.
That wasn't one of my greatest subjects, but I know how to count.
Yeah, me neither.
Right. But you got to make sure this stuff has balance to it as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was when you were playing? What kind of receiver caused the most problems for you? What were the attributes?
A smaller guy.
Really?
Smaller, quick, that got off the line of scrimmage 2 or 3 yards, you know. Yeah, those type of guys, not the big, strong, physical guys, because I'm gonna get some kind of hands on them, and you're not gonna outrun me. So the smaller guys knew how to create a little separation.
All right. So you would tell Michael Irvin, you were easier for me to
No, definitely not. But you know what I did when I got ready to play smaller guys and bigger guys? That's what I ordered up on the scout team. I wanted to work against a smaller guy all week if I was playing against a smaller guy, or a bigger guy all week if I was playing against a bigger guy.
Okay.
I simulated it quite a bit.
Who was the guy that gave you trouble?
My ex-wives.
You could never cover them, could you?
The attorney fee.
That's right.
That's what the hardest thing to cover.
We could go deeper in that
Yeah,
subject.
we
I
can.
don't think he wants to.
No,
We're not,
not whatsoever.
We're going to go. Hey, the injury report comes out.
Yeah.
It's getting rather substantial for us right now.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to fill it out because it's part of,
Right.
I think, gambling now in college football, which we're being asked to fill it out. So we got to fill it. That's what it's all about. I hate that we got to fill it out so people could bet on our games. But you got some guys getting banged up. They'll be back here and there, but you got to place them on the list. A lot of those guys are going to play. Some of them are not going to play for certain. But you never compare because you don't know how important that guy's on their team or how important that guy's on our team.
Yeah.
You never know.
It just seems like I've been looking at them every week since they started. Ours is
It's
lengthy.
Yeah.
And nobody else seems to be. I just wonder how forthright everyone else around the league has been.
True. I mean, we're honest because with me, if it's not right, they're gonna hang us and crucify us. So I'll send us Barabbas. So, but they're gonna do that. But we're forthright with that. But that's a testament to having the depth that I've always spoken about. Like people don't understand, but you do have that type of depth.
TCU. I know you got great respect for Sonny Dykes.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah. Tell me about the Horned Frogs a little bit.
Good team. I love their quarterback. I love what he brings to the table. I think he's a winner. I think he's a playmaker. Throw the heck out of the ball and love to take shots. Browse their coordinator. He's gonna, tempo. So a lot. You could compare that to our first year offense a lot. That's from the same tree, from the same, they birthed the same offense. So we practice with expediting the personnel. Let's go. So we've planned on that. We practiced that so we could get the plays in. And if we get caught, we're going to stay in this, such and such. So we like it, but we should have some opportunities versus their defense as well. But this is a well-coached team. They're playing at home, so they're going to fight. And the quarterback is going to make some plays.
Yeah. Every week when the game plan starts, I know your staffs on the offense and defensive side, they're doing their thing and putting their game plans together, and ultimately they lay them in front of you. Where does Prime start every week for a new team? You kind of wait on their stuff and then kind of jump in? Or?
No, I gotta kind of feel where we ended the last week because now that involves the practice schedule. So now let me change this a little bit because this is what I saw. This is my morning messages to the team because of this is what I saw yesterday in practice, or this is what we're going to be up against. And it's just a feeling and a knowing and a knowledge every darn week. But also I'm looking at somebody that may be injured, and I'm way down the street. Okay, if these two go down, where are we? Mm-hmm. Okay. That happens. Where are we? On third down, let's do this. Okay, this is the scouting report. This is their weaknesses, 3rd and 2. So we plan on running there, right? Mm-hmm. It's so many different parts of this game to give instruction and to understand the feeling and the mood of the whole team.
Sure. Because
the offensive coordinator he's only focused on offense. Same thing with the defense, but I'm focused on the whole thing.
Yeah, kind of that 30,000-foot view. You're looking for all this.
But not only now, but for later. But also you're thinking about recruits. You're thinking about the guys that you have here and how they're playing and how they're performing and why they're not practicing as hard, this guy. So now there's a meeting throughout the week. Now there's a new panel that we put together with leadership panel. So that consists of about 20 guys. So you put your instructions into them, and they go disperse it out to the locker room, and then you meet with them again in midweek to see how we going. Okay. So it's a whole lot going on, man.
Yeah. They always talk about coaches being offensive or defensive guys simply because of what their background was. Do you seem to gravitate to one side or the other more often?
Yeah, this answer is going to trip you out because I've always played defense, but I studied my butt off in preparation coming up. So I studied offenses.
Sure.
So in high school and youth, I became an offensive-minded coach.
All right.
So I was always calling the offensive plays. I never – defense was like it was too simple. I know defense. That's just what I've done. Now, let me challenge. But all my life I've studied offenses and how to dissect them, so that's what I became. But right now, I love to see it both ways because when I'm seeing the opposing team maybe driving down the field, I'm like, oh, this is me, this is what I would do right now.
Yeah.
And it's a tell. So the same thing defensively. If this is me on the offensive side, this is what I would be doing. So now I can tell the defense, this is what we should be looking for.
When you got to the college level, I
Mhm.
mean, traditionally the head coach has coordinators, and
Right.
some guys like the call. Have you ever thought about
No.
at some point?
No, because sometimes I may allow emotions
Yeah.
to get involved, and then I didn't want to do that with my own son quarterbacking
Makes sense.
and the other one playing safety. I didn't want to he's just calling that blitz because he wants his son to get the sack, or he just calling that because he wants his son to throw for 400 yards.
Right.
I wanted to stay out of that.
Yeah. Makes sense. Well, it's going to be a big one this weekend.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them are.
They kind of build as time goes on.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm proud of our young men because they have not quit.
Right.
Like in any game, again, I didn't like the Houston game. That was horrible. But they felt like, and I felt like, we should have won those other two.
Yeah. These guys have been dialed in.
Yeah.
And we, you kind of watch them, and I keep tabs on the young fellas, and they're all saying the right things right now.
Yeah, well,
right?
well
so is some of your leaders.
hopefully they're saying the truthful things,
Yes.
the things that they're feeling.
Yeah.
And like Coach is getting ready to come up here right now. Those two young outside backers, ends, they're going to be special.
Yes, they are.
So you could actually see what's coming real soon. We just got to keep finding those type of young men that loves the game and loves to compete.
I know we got to get to a break, but I got to ask you about this. Did you have to console your guy Jordan Seaton a little bit? I saw that somebody from one of the national accounts put out a deal about how good he is this year, and they had a photo of him in the field, and so he retweets it and he says, "Is my stomach really that big?"
Trust me, Jordan think he's a sex symbol. Trust me, you don't have to.
There was a moment he was wondering.
But
though.
I tell you what, the kid works, he trains, but he gets it from what was here.
Yes.
He understands the standard, and I like that. He understands that, and he's taking that on.
He just carries himself like a professional, doesn't he?
You know why?
Yeah.
Because he was always with those guys last year that were professionals.
Yeah, he's a great example for the other guys.
He is.
All right, hey, good luck this weekend.
God bless you, my man.
All right. There's Deion Sanders, head coach for the Buffaloes. He'll take on TCU on Saturday at 5:30. Coming up next, defensive line coach George Hilo is going to join us. This is Colorado Football from Learfield. University of Colorado football is brought to us by the Hiltons on Canyon. Game day in Boulder starts here. Embassy Suites and Hilton Garden in Boulder, official partners of the Buffaloes, and also by Aflac. Get help with the expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Visit Aflac.com to learn more. Back here at the Champion Center, time for our assistant coach segment. Defensive line coach George Hilo joining us here for a couple of minutes. You and I were just talking off air a little bit. You guys are like the little boy in the dike right now. You're trying to plug some holes out there.
Yeah, it's that
injury
time of the
bugs
year.
hit you. Yeah.
No, it is. It's that time of the year. We got two more big games, conference games. We're looking forward to playing in. Obviously, going to be on the road this week. First TCU, come back with Iowa State, and then a bye week. And nicks and bruises are part of this gladiator game that we play, and it's a part of it. Guys are getting treatment, getting back right, and we're looking forward to the next 2 weeks.
How would you assess kind of that unit coming along this season?
Yeah, they're doing great. We've got some young guys, obviously, on the edge that are getting 25, 30 snaps a game. And Alexander McPherson, London Merritt, they're coming along doing some good stuff. And then just specifically on the edge, you've got Arden Walker and you've got Katon Wade who'll, be on the show this afternoon. Audience will get to meet him, talk to him a little bit. They're great young men. And that's the thing that I love most about, the edge meeting room, just across the board. They're good guys. They work hard. Their attention to detail, and they want to get better.
Katon is a guy that Coach Barnett always says he's got a little suddenness to him. He's got a little quick first step.
Yeah,
Tell me
that's
about him
right.
as a player.
Yeah, so, last year, Katon came in as a third down guy probably midway through the season. He was on the scout team and was going to redshirt. And then for the Arizona game, we played him. He went in, had 2 sacks.
I remember that.
And to Coach's point, he's got those long arms. He's got, fast twitch muscle fiber. He's got good get off. And he's like the rubber band man, he can make plays when you don't think he's getting off the tackle, and then he'll slide off the tackle and go make a play. But he's done a great job this year, Mark, on first and second down. We didn't ask him to do that last year, so he's had to hunker down and play the run. And, those guys are out there on third down too. So, first 2 games of the season, there's been a lot of snaps on the defensive side of the ball, and they've played a lot of reps, and they're continuing to get better every week. Keaton's another guy that never complains about the amount of reps that happen or the workload at practice leading up to the games.
Right.
He's all about conditioning his body, putting in the work, and he's a great young man.
Where this team is right now, kind of a couple of games are close but no cigar. You got to play with 2 very good college football teams, 2 top 25 teams, and BYU and Georgia Tech come out on the short end narrowly. That's tough to swallow. Is this group up
it's
front
tough,
a little
tough
angry?
to swallow. And I heard Coach right as I was walking in, and he was talking about it. And you look at the games, the Georgia Tech game and the BYU game, they're really close. Could have gone either way, and we got to learn to finish, as a unit, as a group, as a team, and we're getting there. And didn't play our best game on the road versus Houston. Everybody knows that, and we've got to put one foot in front of the other, continue to work toward the goal, which is to win a conference championship, and we can accomplish all those things because throughout the year there's going to be some stuff that happens down the stretch, and got to keep guys positive and just continue to work better and get better every week.
Brandon Davis Swain is an interesting guy to me. He's a young guy, right? And you got him on the interior in there. Tell me a little about him as a player.
No, well, he's a great player, and he's a redshirt freshman, getting a lot of reps. And Brandon Davis Swain, it's actually funny because back in 2021 and 22, I was the linebackers coach at Michigan. He's from Detroit, so we recruited him really hard. And he was actually a tight end coming out of high school.
Is that right?
And, he's put on some weight and has really good balance, body control, can strike, win at the point of attack. He can play 3 technique. He can play nose, bends well. Great young man, always listening. He's attention to detail. He's getting better. But he's just going to continue to get better because he's so young right now. He kind of goes into that same category when it comes to the amount of games that he's played with, Alex McPherson and London Merritt. So we're excited about him and really looking forward to what he does the rest of the season.
We've had Delmata Pecco on here who played that interior line position for a long time at a high level. And I asked him one time, I said, what are you looking for? And he goes, well, we need those guys in there that are tough, number one. Number two, they got to have that low center of gravity.
Oh, yeah.
You see that in BDS a little bit in terms of kind of having that body type?
Yeah, anytime you're playing the 3 or the nose, you got to be able to anchor down. You got to be able to take on double teams. And, he's doing a really good job of that. And, Pecco, it's been fun working with him and Sapp, and we got a really group of guys, and I like where we're headed.
Yeah. Gabriel Lightfoot just had surgery, didn't he? It is changing. I
Yeah,
saw
he did.
he putting out something out on social media about
Yeah,
feeling good, and so now you're dealing with that, trying to help him kind of get through that. That's
yeah.
part of a coach's job too, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
checking on all the guys,
right.
and we've been in constant communication with him. You know, Sam O. There's been some other
Yeah.
guys with some injuries and hiccups, and you know, we're a family here, and it's all about, you know, checking up on one another and being together. And we wish him the best in his recovery.
Talk a little bit about those two young ends we're talking about, London Merritt and Alexander McPherson.
Yeah,
They pop every once in a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they've got an interesting story. You know, London's from Atlanta, Georgia, and
Mm-hmm.
Alex McPherson's from South Florida, but those two met and played together at IMG.
Mm-hmm.
You know, London, you know, has some freakish ability with his get off, his power, his strike. You know, God-given things and things that he's really worked hard to get better at this
Okay.
year. And then Alexander, just a super productive player out of IMG. You know, he led, I think, IMG in total of sacks, and he was playing
Yeah.
from an inside rushing position. So he's getting used to playing on the edge. And, you know, both of those guys, what I'm most proud of is their attitude and their effort and how they come to work every day.
Yeah.
You know, like just being a young player and learning how to play, the practice tempo and the way you practice in college and the wear and tear it is on your body and having to get treatment, rehab, all those things. They're adjusting to it, and it's a lot right now, but they're, you know, giving great effort every day. They're learning what to do, how to do it, why it's important to do that way. They're understanding how to play defense and the integrity of the call and running to the ball, finishing on the quarterback. You know, both of them have had a couple tackles for loss,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some sack production, and it's going to continue to elevate for them.
You just said something I think is I've always found it fascinating during my career watching guys. There's some guys that are very physically gifted, and you understand how they're productive. There are some guys that just seem to be productive no matter where you put them, no matter what circumstance they're in. Right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they come in all different shapes
Yeah.
and sizes. Both of them, you know, like we talk about it, like effort and energy to the ball and
Mhm.
pad level and knockback and violence. Those are the things that you've got to want for yourself. You know, there's only so many like forms of blocks you're going to get playing the edge. You're
Right.
going to get a down block, you're going to get an out block, you're going to get a hi hat read. You know, unless it's a screen or a draw play. So playing defensive line starts with a mentality
Mhm.
and drawing a line in the sand and making sure that, you know, when we say do your job, I tell the guys all the time, that's whooping the man across from you every play. And it's playing with good violence and it's
Mhm.
getting the ball out and it's being disruptive. And those guys are learning how to play like that. Same thing with Katon Wade and Arden Walker. And we're going to keep getting better and better as the season goes on. I got all the confidence in the world in the group.
All right, you're going to face a pretty solid offensive front you're going to deal with on Saturday against TCU. Tell us about what you see there.
Yeah, no, it's you know, as all the conference games are, it's going to be a challenge, but I like it for where we are with our group versus their group. You know, I mean, it's about getting off the ball. It's about playing with good pad level, having a good attention to detail and technique and fundamentals. We know that, you know, as Coach talked when you were up here, they're going to do some tempo things and
Yeah.
they're going to move fast on the ball. So we got to be ready to go. I feel like our guys are really in shape. We got a good rotation going. But we're going to bring it on Saturday, and I'm confident in all these guys and what they're going to do.
We go down in elevation, but up in the heat index. Do you guys think about that kind of thing at all?
Well, I was telling the guys all this week. I mean, that's why the Olympians come out here to train.
Yeah.
You know, because the air's thinner, and you
Yeah.
go back, and we just got to make sure that we're hydrated. We're pumping electrolytes and Gatorade, water, all those things. But you know, a lot of our guys too. They're from the South, and they're
Yep.
used to it. You know, two of the guys I was just talking about, they're from Florida. They're from Georgia. You know, Arden's from out here, so he's used to this type of weather. And then, you
Yep.
know, Katon Wade, he's from the South. And
That's right.
Tristan, he's from Canada, so I don't know if it matters.
Well, they're just tough up there anyway, no matter what.
Yeah. Nikhil's from the Northeast, too, so we got a big mix of yeah.
That's good. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a great opportunity on Saturday. Good luck and thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
All
I
right.
appreciate it.
One of the three defensive line coaches for the Buffaloes, George Hilo. The Buffs will take on TCU on Saturday afternoon, 5:30, 3:30 with the pregame here on the network. We're going to continue on Buffs Prime Time with the aforementioned Katon Wade after the break. This is Colorado football from their field. Bus fans, get game day ready with the Taco Bell Bus Box for just $7. You can score 4 Taco Bell Classics, a large fountain drink, collectible cups with Juju Lewis, Draylen Miller, Jordan Seaton, and Quentin Gibson. Why don't we have Katon Wade on one of those cups? That's what I want to know. Big flavor, big value, built for bus fans, only at participating Taco Bell locations. Live must. Don't you think? We need your face on something around here.
I love Taco Bell for sure.
How you doing right now? Okay, team sitting here 2-3. Kind of bring us to the locker room. Let us know what's going on with the fellas.
Yeah, right now we're just regrouping.
Okay.
I know we've been really close to winning those games against ranked opponents. I think it's a combined 10 points, both those games. So I have a feeling. I know that locker room feels like we're close, and we just need everybody to click and do their job and focus one play at a time. But we're feeling good.
You guys are in a little bit of a next man up kind of deal right now. You got a bunch of fellas up there kind of getting dinged up, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely in the D-line room. Definitely. Got some players stepping up this week. I feel like it'll be a big week for Quincy Wiggins for sure.
Nice.
He's playing 3 tech and rushing the passer as a 3 tech, so I can't wait to see him out there.
Coming up, whether it be in high school or you were at Kentucky before coming here, were you always a defensive end guy growing up even?
I really played outside linebacker, like in the 3-4. That's really what I grew up on. But I was also still rushing the passer. This is my first second year, pretty much hand in the dirt and getting in the trenches and rushing the passer a lot.
Now back in high school, you must have played offense too. What'd you play on offense?
Oh yeah, I played running back, receiver, and then twin brother played quarterback. So we were just tearing it up.
That's a pretty big running back and receiver.
Yeah,
out there,
little Derrick Henry actually. Yes,
So your brother was the quarterback.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how often did you come back to the huddle and go like, dude, seriously?
There were a lot of times. Just give me the ball.
How did you not throw to me? Right? I was hoping. We're blood here. Come on, right?
Yeah, I was being a little selfish running the ball, but we had a lot of players that made plays, so it was good.
Growing up in Tennessee, so you had a twin brother. How about you got 3 brothers?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah.
One went to the Naval Academy,
Okay.
2012 to 2016.
Wow. What's he doing now?
He's he's going to school in Austin, Texas,
Okay.
and then having a partnership with Bain, working with them.
Yeah.
And then he's just living life in Austin, Texas. He's got a fiance now, so he's living life.
All right. How about the other brother then?
Twin brother is in North Alabama now, playing quarterback.
Yeah,
He's doing good. Had a little shoulder injury, but he's feeling good now too.
All right. Me having a twin like that, did you guys ever have some of those special moments where you know? Number one, how much do you look alike? When you were growing up, did you look exactly alike?
Oh yeah, sometimes even our parents would get us mixed up at an early age, but yeah, they would just say twin. One of us would look so. But
did you at any time ever trade places with them when everyone else didn't know?
Oh yeah, in school a couple times, just for a class or two, but it wasn't a lot like that. But it was definitely fun times.
I had a buddy of mine's got a twin. He used to he'd trade places with his brother when one would get in trouble.
Yeah,
and blame the other one. Mom and dad didn't know.
Yeah, I always wanted to trade places with them in quarterback, like go out there and practice with the gold jersey.
That would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty good. Hey, give us a quick thought about this game with TCU on Saturday. Big opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, big opportunity. I feel like it'll be a great opportunity to show what we can do and how we can regroup and how we can go on the next game mentality. But I feel like it'll be a great challenge and opportunity for us.
Hey, you've been doing a good job. Good luck on Saturday, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Defense end, Katon Wade, number 27 for the Buffaloes. He'll take on TCU at 5:30 on Saturday down at Fort Worth. We'll hit the air at 3:30 on the network. Thanks for joining us this week on Bus Prime Time. This is Colorado Football from Learfield.